Today guys, I wanted to talk to you about businesses in Grand RP. I know a lot of people want to own them, but it does cost a whole lot of money. And to be honest, it may not be worth it or in your best interests, and we're going to go over why. And I'd love to hear some of your opinions about it down below in the comment section. Just before we get into it, if you haven't already joined the server before and want to, be sure to click the link down below in the description, click on start playing, select which server you want to play on, register an account, and download the launcher, and you should be good to go from there. So when it comes to buying a business, you simply put out an ad saying buying business with your budget, and then some people will hit you up. Now, as of right now, the cheapest business you can get is probably going to be about $15 million, and it'll most likely be like a state object or an ATM. Now, I've bought in some of these cheap businesses before, and they don't make you any money, just so you know. The reason people sell them is literally just for family points, because if you own a business, you get 30 extra family points if you join someone's family or if you have your own family, which will get you higher up in the rankings. But if you're buying a business to make money, you spend $15 million buying one of the cheapest businesses in the game, you'd be lucky if you make $10,000 a day off of it. Like, think of it this way. If you were to go to an ATM, you'd probably go to one in the city. Maybe once in a blue moon, you would go to an ATM way out here in the middle of nowhere. And even with a 10% tax rate on those ATMs, you still won't make all that much cash. Now, when people try to sell you businesses, what they'll end up doing is going and boosting their own profits up. They would just go and use their own business or tell their friends to use that business for a bit so they can get their statistics up and then send you the pictures and be like, oh yeah, this is how much money it's made in the last week or last month, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, it's not even that hard to Photoshop that stuff. I remember I took a picture of my friend's business and I Photoshopped it and I was like, look how easy it is to do this. It's so easy to cheat the system and make it look like the business makes a lot of money, when in reality, it makes nothing. Now, if you wanted a business that would actually make you some cold hard cash, and by cold hard cash, I mean more than like $10,000 to $20,000 a day, you'd probably have to put up $30 to $40 million. And even then, on a good day, you still might not make that much money. Like, I remember I had a tattoo parlor, and it was next to the ghetto hospital. Now, this is when we also had a ghetto hospital, so I was making actually about $700,000 to $1 million every single day. And it was pretty great. But then they removed the ghetto hospital. And instantly, my profits went down by a whole lot. I was maybe making $100,000 to $200,000 per day. At the most, $200K per day. Some days, it would be less than 100 grand. But I still ended up selling that tattoo parlor a long time ago for $55 million. And like I said, on a good day, I would be making $200,000 per day. And that's worth $55 million. And now, of course, that tattoo parlor is probably worth a lot more because obviously everything goes up in price like crazy in this city. So I'm assuming that tattoo parlor might go for nearly $100 million, maybe even more. And then there's other businesses like car sharing businesses, gas stations, the farm, pretty much any of the major businesses, even clothing stores. To be honest, there's one clothing store that probably doesn't make that much money, along with some other businesses that are up in like Paleto Bay or in Sandy Shores. They obviously will make a lot less, but they'll still roughly go for the same amount of money, give or take $10 to $20 million. But either way, if you wanted to buy, let's say, I don't know, this gas station right here, it'll probably end up going for like $250, $300 million, maybe even more than that. And if you wanted to buy a car sharing business, I wish you luck. It'll probably cost you $800 mil to $1 billion, to be honest, because they make an absolute fortune. But if you just wanted a business that can make you some decent money every single day, you'd probably have to dish out $200 to $300 million. And if you do own a business, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section how much you make on average per day and per week. And don't lie, because I know a lot of people do, and it's pretty damn obvious. Like one time I was looking to buy an ATM just to see what it was like to own one, and this dude was saying he made $500,000 per day. There was another dude that was saying he made over $1.5 million per day at the ATM in Gov. I bought the ATM in Gov, and it did not make anywhere near that amount of money, ever. I'd be lucky if I was making like 100K a day. They're like, oh yeah, people go to Gov all the time and they just go and take out money from the ATM. I don't think I've ever done that before in my entire life, except for when I actually owned the ATM. That was the only time I would ever take money out of it. So just be warned about that. A lot of people will try to boost up the numbers so then it looks like the business is actually good, when in reality, it's pretty terrible. But either way, like I said, it may not be worth it to buy one, because if you want something that's half decent, you got to dish out $200 to $300 million, and then you'll be actually making a little bit of cash every day, which would be great. But spending that much money is kind of crazy. Like for example, if you were to just purchase the Battle Pass, And by the way, everybody that says, oh, I don't have the money to buy grand coins or anything like that, you do know every event that comes out, you get 15 grand coins for playing X amount of time per day. So if you just wanted to get the premium battle pass, you could easily get that when an event starts. And then you're able to get all of those awesome prizes. Now, if you just complete the first iteration of the battle pass, you will be able to sell a lot of that stuff off and make way more money than you would make from some of these businesses. For example, if you were to spend $20 million on an ATM, you might be looking at 20K per day, maybe 30K per day. It depends. So think about how long it's going to take you to make that money back. Now, if you were to just go through the first iteration of the battle pass, just playing the game wouldn't be that hard to do. Now, if you were to just go through the first iteration of the battle pass and claim some of those prizes, sell them off to people, and sell some of the cars to the government, you'd be able to make a pretty decent amount of money. And when I say go through the first part of the battle pass, I'll show you what I mean and how quick you can actually make that money. So on the first page here, you get 2 car crates. This one right here sells for 100K. You open it, sell the car off, boom. What you just got in 5 seconds, you'd make from that $20 million business in maybe 3-4 days. This crate, some cars in here are worth up to $10 million, I think, $7 million maybe. So that if you sell that off, 600K to 1 million bucks in your pocket. Let me know how long it'll take you to make $1 million off of a $15 million ATM. And then you just keep going. Like, you could sell off some of these luminous wheels, some of these containers. You also get some grand coins as well. And look at this, you get more car crates. 3 on this page. You get some weed, you get some scrap metal, you get cocaine, you get juice, bunch of stuff you could sell here. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And then eventually you'll end up getting some of these legendary car crates where you can get cars that are worth like $20-30 million each. And of course, there's cars you can get from the battle pass as well, not just the crates. And some of those cars are worth up to $32 million, like that new Lamborghini that I got. From this battle pass alone, just the cars, I've probably gotten about $300 million worth of cars from the battle pass, maybe even more. I know that may sound crazy, but honestly, it's true. You get some pretty insane stuff. And I could literally sell all those cars off and then buy that ATM business 2 times over. Now, I'm not saying businesses are bad. Obviously, you buy those cheap ones just for family points. But if you're looking to make money, you don't want to buy those cheap businesses. I see people asking every day, what's the cheapest business I can get? And somebody's like, oh, you can buy an ATM for this amount of money. And they're like, okay, I'm going to save up and buy it. They spend all that money, you could probably take a year and you still won't make $15 million off of that ATM. But of course, like I said, people fudge the numbers all the time. So it may look like you can make $1 million in a week or in a day, but in reality, that's not going to happen unless some super rich guy decides, let me go to this ATM and pull out $20 million. And then they have to pay $2 million in taxes because obviously you have it set at the highest price point or highest tax rates so you can get the most amount of money out of it. It just doesn't happen that often. But there are other businesses you can get as well. Some do make a little bit of money and a lot make nothing. So would I recommend buying a business? Of course. If you have $200 million, 100% buy a solid business. There's a ton out there that you could get that you can make a bucket load of cash off of. But if you only got 15 million bucks, 20 million bucks, even $30 million, and you decide to use all of that and buy a business, I'm telling you, you're most likely going to regret it unless you're specifically buying it just for family points, for your family or for someone else's family. You could try it if you don't believe me. Some people will say, oh no, you can make a ton. But most of the time, they're probably going to be capping. And they probably have a lot of their friends saying, only use this business if you ever want to buy anything and I'll give you a discount or something like that. And if you really want to make some cash, do the long-term investments. If you just have some extra money sitting around, toss it in there, play the game as you normally do, and eventually you'll just get that money back right into your account. I'm still doing the 500-hour investment thing. It's just under 400 hours now, actually. And then randomly, I'll just get $20 million deposited into my bank account. But I'm not really focusing on that because it's a long-term investment and I don't really care until I get the money in my account. So I'm just going to play and have fun and wait till that money cashes out, I guess. But I do want to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comment section. If you've owned a business before and it wasn't a super expensive one, like I'm talking recently, $15 million business, $20 million business, and somebody said it was making a ton of money, comment down below how much money it's really making. And I'm sure a lot of people have bought businesses before and found this out as well. They just don't make that much. And that's pretty much all I could say about it. You can't really test it until you try it. And I've tested it a couple times. Let me just shut my engine off. Pretty sure it was one of those police officers that shut my car off instead of that R8. Alright then. But I guess that's going to wrap things up for today. If you guys do want to buy a business or you have some money sitting around that you want to spend, there's a lot of other stuff you could buy that would be a better use of that money. Especially if your main goal is to make money, don't buy one of those cheap businesses. Unless it's for your family. That's the only reason why you would buy one. If you want a business, look for businesses that are going for $50 million plus, and then really get a look at the numbers. But then again, it's so easy to fudge the numbers, because I could even go and buy an ATM business right now for 15 mil, spend $5 million on it, and then spend a little bit here, a little bit there, wait a week, and then boom, I could probably flip it for like another $4 million to some dude who's like, oh wow, this looks like it makes a lot of money. In a way, it actually is scamming, because it doesn't actually make that much money. You're just boosting the numbers up like crazy. So maybe you can actually get banned for that. Who knows? Because a lot of people still do it. So just be careful out there when you're looking at buying businesses and knowing there's a lot of other ways in the city you can make money. I mean, I've made tons of videos on how to make money in Grand RP, and honestly, you'll make a whole lot more money not buying one of those cheap businesses and doing other stuff instead. Then use that money to buy a solid business and make some passive income off of those. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.